Hey, Chris, you were the first person that I ever heard use the language changing the dance. And today we're going to talk about what it means to change the dance.
Welcome, everybody, to Live Fully, Lead Authentically, a Brimstone Coaching Group podcast. I'm Chris Godfredson, here today with co-founder and coach at Brimstone Coaching Group, Kurt Bush. And you heard Kurt allude to something, an idea, a concept, a way of being called changing the dance. And Kurt, I wonder what the pirouette is going to look like here on the screen for the listener
Yeah,
or
so if
the
you're not
watcher.
watching this, you should watch it because we're about to do some dance moves, right,
Yeah,
Chris?
tango.
Yeah.
You tango?
I cannot tango.
Yeah.
These hips do lie, if you know what I'm saying.
That's pretty good.
I do not have that sort of
Yeah.
movement in me. uh,
Me
yeah,
either. Yeah. It's been a minute, and I'm not sure that I ever did. Yeah.
I would
But
like to have that movement in me, but I
would
do
you?
not. Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it could be fun, I suppose.
yeah,
People,
yeah.
some people, I mean, people that dance look like they're having fun.
Tons of fun. Yeah,
I choose not to, and that's probably an entire different episode.
yeah, I think so.
It's an entirely different episode.
Yeah, yeah.
And this one we've probably had. So if you haven't listened to all of the Live Fully, Lead Authentically podcast, you can go back and find
Hit
one and
hit the library up.
hit the library and then hit like click or like and say, I found it. There will be a
That's
reward for the listener who does that.
yes, I like that.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
reward,
that'd be
yeah.
pretty great. We'll drive traffic. It's pretty great.
A reward to be announced later.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to name it right now.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
giving it
It's
away.
it's too big to name
It
now.
is
It's
it
too,
is
it's
pretty significant. I mean, what I would do for that, yeah, I'd give a Benny for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Yeah,
All right.
right.
There it is,
All
folks.
right. So let's talk about the idea of changing the dance. When you say that, what do you mean? And do you have an example or a story for us around that concept?
Yep. Yep. So, yeah, Chris, I mean, maybe just to set it up a little more, right? We've been in this series where we've been kind of tailoring our conversation towards, startup people, business owners,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, mission-driven people, nonprofit leaders, like people that are kind of responsible for the direction of their organization, and carrying a lot of weight, right?
Yeah.
So in that context, when I think about changing the dance, which again, you're the first person that I know to use
And
that I
I did
heard.
not. Yeah, I borrowed it. I
Yeah,
source unknown.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So you were the first. I should be asking you this, but here's where my mind goes.
Yeah.
We've been inviting people to think about different ways to live and lead as they're carrying all this responsibility, and different ways to think about what it means to be a leader and how to do that in a way that's both authentic and sustainable. And the reality is that when we start to live into those things, when we start to practice different things in how
Yeah.
we live and lead, the systems around us are going to they're going to notice. So one of the analogies I like to use and think about when I think about the dance, whatever the dance, like how I show up in these places, is a wedding reception.
Yeah.
You and I were at a wedding reception together not that long ago, and we like really cut a rug. We did uh we cut
my
a rug.
my memory is different than yours.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I mean, we did the Cupid Shuffle, we did the electric slide, we did all those things together.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
so at wedding receptions, at parties like that, there's a DJ, and he or she will have these songs that people know these dances to. The
Yeah.
electric slide, the Cupid Shuffle. Now, imagine a whole dance floor of people doing the electric slide, and we're just jamming out doing the electric slide, and everybody knows it, and we're looking around, we're like, man, everybody's having a good time here. Uh,
Yeah.
well, then Jim over here
Yeah.
walks in. It's always Jim, right?
It's always Jim. I was gonna say that. It's always Jim.
Jim walks up and decides, you know what? I don't like this dance. I'm gonna start doing the Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah.
Which, if the listener doesn't know, they should Google Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah, they
Uh,
should.
and Jim starts to stand out a little bit,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
Everybody kind
Yeah.
of notices, like, what's going on with Jim over here? Well, Jim's just vibing by himself, you know?
Right.
Jim's vibing. And at some point, the rest of the dance floor is either going to like try to get Jim off the dance floor or
Mm.
try to get Jim to do the electric shuffle like everybody else, or electric slide like everybody else
Yeah.
is doing, right?
Yep.
So I think the same is true when we start to practice our way into new ways of living and leading. The
Yes.
systems around us start to realize, like, man, Kurt or Chris, they're doing the Cupid shuffle, but I'm that's not what we were doing yesterday, you know?
Yeah. Yep. That's
Yeah,
really good.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
really well said.
What would you say about that?
Yeah. So I think I'm remembering where I was given this analogy for the very first time, and an old friend of mine. I say old because it's been a long time friend, and he's old. Hey Bob, what's up? And he told me about a time like where he had spent some time talking with a counselor, and their conversation went to this idea that, when you start to behave differently, you might have size, let's just say 10 sneakers.
Mm,
Your Air Jordans might be size 10, but it's as if you're walking around or dancing with size 24 clown
mm,
shoes.
yeah, yeah,
And what's true about that is you just start stepping on everybody's toes.
yeah,
The dance is no longer smooth. It is like people are getting hurt
yeah, yeah,
because it's different. And I really love the idea of Jim hopping onto the dance floor and doing a Cupid shuffle, because I mean that's oftentimes our default response is we need to get him off of the dance floor,
yeah,
or we need to do whatever we can to get him to start doing the electric slide just like we're doing it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And so the tension is really real. The struggle is real because, as they say, again, source unknown, every change changes everything.
yeah,
So when you are behaving your ways into new way of living and leading, that dance changes for everyone around you. And
yeah.
what would you have an example, perhaps, of a time when you changed the dance?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, yeah, I mean, I have a couple. I'm trying to on the spot here figure out which one I want to share.
Yeah,
Yeah, I served a church for a number of years, led a group of volunteers, and one of the things, one of the values that I tried to live into at the time was the value of curiosity.
yeah,
I think I've said this before on the pod. I'm not naturally, or I didn't used to be naturally a curious person.
hmm,
So I had to really try to be curious.
yeah,
And one of the ways that I tried to be curious for myself was in these meetings with volunteer leaders. Somebody would say something, and I would pause and I would remind myself that I want to be curious, and I would ask the question, "What else do you want to say about that?"
yeah,
And that was truly just for me trying to create a space to where I could listen more deeply, where I could try to understand what
yeah,
someone said more deeply, rather than assuming I knew the meaning. Right.
hmm,
Um, that that question, what I found in those moments in a room with 10 volunteer leaders, uh, that that question is kind of jarring sometimes.
hmm,
Um, some in the room responded with, "Yeah, sure. Let me say a little more." Oh, this is a welcome chance for me to
yeah,
speak a little more. Uh, Others in the room responded defensively. Uh,
hmm,
Others in the room assumed that I was pushing, or that I was doubting, or that I was, condescending on some
sure,
level.
yeah,
And they didn't respond quite as well as those that
yeah,
wanted to share their voice, and others responded differently. But what I remember is that was a dance change, to
Yeah.
where, the group as a whole began to operate in such a way that we aren't just going to say things and let them be, or assume that we understand them. We're going to say things and then be able to follow up, and then be able to understand more deeply, and be able to ask questions of each other, uh,
Yeah.
rather than like, I said it, I'm done, or I heard it, I'm done. Just trying
Yeah.
to instill curiosity. So that dance change really did, drive some responses that I wasn't ready for and didn't understand,
Sure.
uh,
Yeah.
as I tried to live and lead a little differently.
Yeah. And so that obviously would stir some things in you,
Yes.
and it stirs things in other people, right?
Yes.
I mean, as you think about that, I mean, I'm curious, like what would you say? Do you have a, and maybe you already explained it, and I'm just grasping at straws. I'm not doing what I think I should be doing, but the reality I think is when we listen to hear, and we don't listen to, or when we listen to understand and not listen to respond, that changes the dance,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
And
Yeah.
so you're not just taking in information.
Right.
You are listening to hear somebody out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and oftentimes, I was going to ask you a question. Now I'm just monologuing. How about that?
Well,
Um,
let me say this to
yeah,
that point.
yeah,
I think I want to make really clear, like, I do think when we make sort of life and leadership changes in how we show up, it does affect our systems in positive ways. Like the only
yeah.
way I can affect my system is changing myself or
Yes,
growing
sir.
myself. That is, I believe that, but I
Mhm.
didn't go into those meetings like intentionally trying to manipulate people to be more curious. I was trying to be more curious,
Yeah.
and the reality is, like, I did want to listen to understand, and even that change that is objectively good, for me
Hmm.
and for
Yeah.
the groups that I lead, right? It
Hmm.
is
Right.
inarguably positive that the leader in the room wants to be more curious,
Yes.
and the dance changed enough that there was a response that made me question, am I doing the right dance, or do I want to
Ah,
keep doing the dance? What's
yeah.
the cost of doing the dance or
Yeah.
changing the dance,
Yeah,
right?
no, I mean, I love that. And so as you think about it, like, what's the threat for what do you imagine? What's a potential threat that gets people into that place where
Yeah.
when the dance changes, like we start to do what we do?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, I know how I would answer it, but I mean, I think, we have a colleague who would say people don't resist change, they resist loss.
Yeah.
And I think anytime the dance changes, I wonder if the core fear is, I'm going to lose, the thing I know how to do. I'm going to lose
Yeah.
the responsibilities that I'm comfortable with. I'm going to
Yeah.
lose, the status quo. I'm going to lose something.
Hmm.
I wonder if that's really where it boils down. I mean, I think for me, the threat is like, somebody's changed. I don't know how to do that new dance. Like,
Yeah.
are they
Right.
gonna teach me that new dance? Is
Hmm.
is Jim gonna teach me the Cupid Shuffle?
Yeah.
Do I have to learn it on my own?
Yep.
What if I don't learn it fast enough? Am I gonna get
There
kicked
we
off the
go.
dance floor?
Right. Yep.
So
What if it
I
slows momentum? What
yeah,
if the things we're working on don't get done because I'm a get stuff done kind of person?
yeah, yeah,
Now as the dance has changed, the expectations of me are different. And what if
yeah,
they find this out about me or that
yes,
about me? And it's so many things. Like we just
yeah,
listed 17 things that would be a reason for
yeah.
resistance.
Yeah. So in this group, to take my example a little further, in
Yeah.
this group of leaders, again, this was at a church, and I just want to say, like, these leaders went through a lot and did really
Yeah.
really well. So I
Hmm.
like I want to say that I'm using this as an example, but these leaders did a lot and did really well.
Hmm.
But one of the leaders, prior to my showing up and kind of starting to change the dance a little bit, his role was to like sign checks, and deposit checks, right?
Yeah.
Incoming and outgoing, right? And the dance we were trying to change meant that he wasn't going to sign or deposit checks anymore.
Yeah.
And I think like this drove a response from this leader, and I think at its core was like, hey, I'm I'm adding, like, this is an important part of the organization, and I'm doing it, and it's going away. And
Yeah.
what happens to me as a leader when that goes away?
Yeah.
Are you gonna value me as a leader? Are you gonna ask me to
Hmm.
leave? Am I gonna lose my spot? What's
Yeah.
gonna happen to me?
Yeah.
And I think I don't want to jump ahead too far because now I'm monologuing a little bit, but
No.
I think there has to be, this connection to authenticity, to transparency, to being trustworthy, um
Yeah.
so that people we lead when we're changing the dance can trust that we're not going to kick them off the dance floor, that we're not going to leave them behind, that we're going to give them metaphorically, we're going to give them the YouTube video that shows them the steps,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
gonna we're gonna bring them along,
Yep.
uh in the dance that we're changing, or we hope to bring them along in the dance that we're changing.
Yeah, I think I mean, that word right there is critical. Right?
Yeah,
So we hope to bring you along as the dance changes.
yeah,
And quite honestly, I mean, I wonder as dances change in systems and when when our go-to move is status quo, let's maintain equilibrium, let's
yeah,
stasis, let's not change anything.
yeah,
When it changes, the reality is that my hope is that individuals and teams will be aware of themselves enough to say, "Oh yeah, something is different now."
yeah,
And and we don't just do the autopilot reactivity thing, but that
yeah, yeah,
okay, something's happening and I can get to my better thinking if I just pause for a second, right?
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, this is why the awareness work we do really matters.
yeah, yeah,
And because when the dance changes, and it's going to,
yeah,
the
100%.
dance is going to change. Things don't stay the same forever. At some
Right.
point, it's coming for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
might even say it has to change. I mean,
Yes.
if I want a different result for my life, at some point, if I'm not happy with the result that I'm getting in my life and my
Hmm.
leadership, I have to change the dance.
Yes,
Like,
sir. Yeah.
to your comment about every change changes everything. Um, I would say the opposite is true. Like, no change changes nothing. you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, I might even say like the dance has to change if I want greater contentment or fulfillment. If I want to go home and metaphorically kick the dog less after my day running my own business, like I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to change something in my dance, right?
Yeah. Yep. So let's use going home as an example. You're there, Amber's there, Ella's there, and you're doing your thing. Cooper walks in, it changes.
Yes.
Not because he's doing anything wrong or out of line or anything. The system simply changes
Yeah. Yeah.
because the dynamics change. And so by mere presence, if something changes, just
Yeah.
imagine how significant it is if you're over here dancing differently. Like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. Like
Yeah.
if we, and it's not that. I mean, to your point, I think I'm just going back a few minutes to say, oftentimes the idea is not to be disruptive.
Right. Right. That's great. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah. Yeah.
The idea is not disruption. It's for you, in your example, it's curiosity.
Yeah.
And because I really want to understand and I want to everyone to have a voice and yeah, this is slowing progress. Now I think I get a sense that in the one particular case, if when it feels like you're taking away something that I've been doing, well, what's the why?
Yeah. Yeah.
And can we get can we get clear on those things? But as that person, okay, the dance is changing. Now what's happening in me, right?
Yeah.
What am I
Yeah.
doing? How am I behaving?
Yeah.
Am I reactive, or
Yeah.
do I am I trying to understand myself in the midst of the dance changing? So
Yeah.
it's one thing to be changing the dance. It's another thing to have the dance changed.
Yes. Yes. One
And
million percent.
yeah, and so now, like, how do I hope to show up?
Yeah.
What am I
Yeah.
going to do right now? Like, oh, can I feel my both of my feet on the ground? I'm not
Yep.
slide to the left right now. I'm just hanging out. And can I be firmly grounded?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I'm reminded, I was on a Zoom call a couple weeks ago with a group of people who are hoping to start their own kind of small retail business.
hmm,
And one of the people talked about, that they make this product, they put it out there to sell it, and they talk about being at these like vendor fairs where they sell these, and how it's not uncommon for a customer to come up and be a little angry or be frustrated, like, oh, your product is this much, well, I thought it would be cheaper, or say something that
yeah,
knocks them off
yep,
balance a little bit.
hmm,
And I think even that's like a micro version of the dance changing. Like,
yes, sir.
if I'm that vendor, I
Hmm.
know what I'm doing right now. I'm mingling, I'm talking to people, I'm selling my wares, if you will. And then out of
Yeah,
nowhere, somebody comes up doing the Cupid shuffle. And to your point,
yeah,
now I get to decide what dance I'm gonna do in
yeah,
response. And
yep,
I have agency over that. But can I, to your point, can I pause, think a moment,
yep,
take a breath, and make that
yeah,
decision intentionally versus, in your words, the things that we just always do.
yeah. Well
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked out of a meeting or left a conversation thinking, why did I just show up like that? Why did I shrink back or explode or stay silent when it mattered? You're not alone and you're not broken. You're likely reacting from a pattern that started long before that meeting ever happened. In their new book, Live Fully, Lead Authentically, Kurt Busch and Chris Godfreyson unpack the hidden second job so many of us carry, spending our days managing the anxiety, fear, and old stories that shape how we lead. Through honest stories and practical tools, they invite leaders to pause, reflect, and lead in a new way. Get your copy today at brimstonecoachinggroup.com/new book. Order now. This is your invitation to lead differently.
Well, welcome back to Live Fully, Lead Authentically, and Chris Godfredson here with Kurt Busch, and we've been talking about the idea of changing the dance when we show up in the system differently, or when somebody else does. There's invariably opportunity to be reactive, to be caught off guard. And a lot of times we call those things encounters, these moments that happen during the course of our day, these experiences that shock us or surprise us, and then create a change in the dance. And Kurt said fairly eloquently in the midst of our dialogue before the break, the idea, or he surfaced the idea that uh, the only thing that we have any real say in or control over is how we show up in those moments when the dance has changed. And like, nobody likes size 24 clown shoes stepping all over your toes. None of us like that. But even that is an opportunity for me to get into action to manage myself. And so we have a transformational equation at the Brimstone Coaching Group that says encounter plus reflection equals transformation. And when we think about this, the idea is that there's some personal responsibility required in going back and assessing after. I mean, it can happen in the moment. Can I, when I'm pausing,
Yeah.
can I check my feet? Are both of my feet on the ground? Am I steady? Can I reflect on what's happening in me and observe what's going on around me? Pause, reflect, observe. That's a pro tip. There you go. That was free. Nobody paid for that
Nice.
today. But
Nice.
but the idea is that like we can do a bit of this in real time, but the deeper transformational work is when we engage in intentional reflection.
Yeah.
How do you hear that? What would you want to add as it relates to the transformational equation and the topic of changing the dance?
Yep. Yep. Here's what always comes to mind, and maybe I'm coming off the rails just a little bit, but I I, I love the way you talk about like we can do these things real time, and often the work is to be done later to look back at the encounter. I love how
Yeah.
you say that, and I'm just struck by how often people will should themselves and say, "Well,
Uh,
I shouldn't have to look back later, or I
mhm.
should be able to do this in real time." And I think what I would say, what I love about the transformational equation is that most of us can't do that depth of reflection real time. So to be able to take a
Right.
tool and be able to say, it's okay, I'm gonna sit with this later. I'm gonna come back to it,
Yeah.
and like actually dig into it. I think that's why I love that tool so much.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's helpful, but I always have this like don't should on yourself running through my mind. Like
I
looking
do
at it in the
love
rear
that.
view is okay,
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah. Because the invitation even is to change the dance in your life.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I'm extending to you right now an invitation to behave differently
yeah,
so that so that you're able to show up differently next time. Let's say that I'm in a meeting and I am changing the dance by being curious, not just saying nothing or
yeah,
allowing the conversation to just move on because I so want this meeting to be over.
yeah,
Let so I get to manage myself in real time. Or let's say I'm in this, you and I are in a space, and you say something that's jarring, and the dance has changed. Well, now I get to react anxiously,
yeah,
or respond from my best thinking. And
yeah,
here's the thing about that: like we will naturally default to whatever it is that we have always done.
yeah,
And so we think that taking the time to reflect is a waste of time. I don't want even when the dance has changed. Like,
yeah, yeah,
what are we doing? There's stuff to get done, and I want to move on. Well, it will oftentimes save us wasted time and energy and resources if we do that work in real time. But none of it happens unless
yeah,
we do the work on our own
yeah,
and do the intentional work of reflection. And so, like I say these
yeah,
things, and none of this has happened swiftly.
yeah,
Like I can
yeah,
I can say in real time, I can pause, reflect, and observe. But that's like 18 years of getting to this point where I can do that. It
yeah,
doesn't mean I always do, right?
yeah,
Where
yeah,
but I can. And and so hear me clearly when like I do have some sense of like this really works because I've
yeah,
experienced it.
yeah,
And practice doesn't make perfect, it makes progress. This
yeah,
say the same thing over and over again. I just
yeah.
serve it up in a different setting or whatever. But does that resonate with you as I say those things?
Yes. Let me reflect something back to you, and you tell me if I heard it right, because I heard
Yeah.
you say something that sounds like a chef's kiss or a mic drop here.
Oh, wow.
Um, I know you don't even know you said it. I think you know you said it. So what I heard you say, and what I would affirm in my own experiences, that practice of saying, I'm having this encounter, this client or this customer's mad, or the dance is changing, I'm being presented with this dance being changed, that pausing, noticing your feet on the ground, taking a breath. What I heard you say, what I wonder if I heard you say was that is the way to respond in the moment rather than
Yeah.
react, right?
Yep.
But the actual changing of the dance happens later, looking back and reflecting on that encounter. So so what I heard you say is there's actually two things in play. Like
Mm,
I have the chance to respond in the moment, right?
yeah.
And then I have a chance to go back later and say, what happened? Do I prefer how I responded, and how do
Yes.
I want to change the dance? So I think that's really profound to think about the dance changing in those E plus R equal T exercises and practices versus like in the moment, I'm just trying to respond in my best self, right?
Yeah. The
But
word, yeah, thank you. Thanks for saying that. All of it. Because I did say that on purpose. And I think the word is regulate.
yes,
Can I
yes,
regulate in real time? Because what often happens when the dances change is that we are dysregulated, right? I'm reacting anxiously to whatever is being presented to me. But if I can pause, reflect just for a minute, is there a threat? What's true? And observe what's happening around me. Like my face will often betray me.
that's fair.
And so I like what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah,
If I'm dysregulated. So to be able to real quick engage those three things, and these have just emerged for me over time.
yeah,
Then you're right. I mean, that does it. I think it does change the dance in the moment
yeah,
because I have a choice. I have agency to behave in the way that I choose.
yeah, yeah,
And honestly, there's sometimes I choose the right path. Sometimes I choose, oh, I see it and I don't care, and
yeah,
I do, and then I have to clean up my mess later. This is where the idea of not wasting so much time
yeah,
and behaving in ways that I prefer, which I appreciate
yeah,
how you said that. This is where the work of E plus R equals T really matters because
yeah,
our reality is that we made promises to protect ourselves long before we even knew we had made the promises.
yeah,
And so then that's what comes out when
yeah,
when somebody is changing the dance
yeah,
or they're resistant to the way in which I'm changing the dance. So yeah, it's
yeah,
so valuable to be able to reflect and then give deep thought to how do I prefer to show up? What's
yeah,
a better way? What's a preferred promise that I can engage that
yeah,
will help stop me when change is happening in real time?
yeah. I love that. I have nothing to add, Chris.
That's ridiculous. And I disagree, but maybe we're at time too. So I can accept that today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the way you said it, I don't want to say anything else. I think it was really well said.
So land the plane, my friend.
I'm gonna land the plane. I'm a good pilot sometimes.
You are.
Chris, if the listener is listening to this, I mean, you gave me the controls, my friend.
What a
Uh,
mistake. Yeah.
if the listener is hearing this and thinking, you know, I've noticed the dance change.
Mm.
I've tried to change the dance and I can't. I want to change my dance. I don't know how. Or I notice myself getting stirred when the angry customer comes up and the dance has changed for me.
Yeah,
If they're hearing this thinking like, man, I need some help figuring out what this means and how to do this. How do they like get a hold of us? Because this is what we do. This is
it
what we
is.
exist to help people do.
Yeah. So go to www.brimstonecoachinggroup.com and schedule a free initial inquiry. That can happen with either one of us. You get a half an hour. We can determine whether or not a coaching relationship with us is worth your while. But I would also say that there's an opportunity for a couple of other avenues. One is maybe you lead a team and you want some help on navigating changing the dance in real time. Like we do this work with groups of
Yeah.
people. And so let's have a conversation about that. And if you personally want to dive just a little bit deeper, or if you want to offer this to your friends, your coworkers, the members of your team, we have a guided online experience called Attending that will help you to surface things in your life that maybe have kept you stuck and stopped when people change the dance. So Attending is available on the website by going to courses and engage in that process yourself. And it will enable you to show up with your team in ways that are more aligned with how you prefer.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me say one more thing. We would love to hear from listeners. We want to try this thing. I don't know what else to call it other than a mailbag episode.
Yeah.
That's what the cool podcasters call these things when
It's a
people
dated reference, but yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
it is. It is. But the idea is that we want to hear from our listeners. So if you're
yeah,
listening and you have questions, if you want to say anything about our content, wonder a little more, ask us to say a little more about something we said, maybe we left you hanging unintentionally,
yeah,
comment on wherever you're engaging this, or send us an email at livefullyleadauthentically@gmail.com. And once we get some questions or some thoughts or some comments, we'll read them. We'll read them on a pod for everybody to engage together. So
that'd be great.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks so much, Chris. This is great.
yeah.